Hello, hello. Welcome to Reading Time. My name's Time, and this week we're reading The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. Let's get to reading. The Lorax is a children's picture book about a man known as the Once-ler who tells the story of the Lorax, who is the defender of trees and animals in a specific forest. Now, as is the case with much of Dr. Seuss's writing, this is all incredibly fictitious. The art style is very cartoony. There is also a good amount of odd and silly sounding words, as is also very often the case with Dr. Seuss's works. This book also has a few other features that are very common in Dr. Seuss's books, such as a consistent rhyme scheme, and it is generally a very delightful book. I enjoyed this book quite a bit, and I am going to give it 5 out of 5 stars. This book has no concerning content, although it does deal with environmental issues and may likely lead to conversations about said issues in our actual world. Reading level wise, I would put this at a 1st through 4th grade reading level. It is definitely more oriented towards elementary school as it is a picture book, and as it does have that cartoony style that you would more associate with elementary school than with middle or high school. However, that is not to say that you could not use this book in older grade levels. In fact, I think this book would be a good example of argumentative writing outside of a traditional academic argumentative context. Usually when we talk about argumentative writing in those secondary levels, we talk about it with the end goal of students writing their own argumentative essay. And while argumentative essays and articles do have their place, there can be benefit in going a little bit outside of the box and looking at other platforms in which you could use argumentative writing. A children's book would be a fascinating way to have students write about a cause that they care about, while still keeping in mind a specific audience. In this case, it would be an audience of children. It could be a fun challenge to have students then in upper grade levels create their own children's book with those parameters in mind. And if they're really feeling up to it, they could even play around with rhyme scheme and try and do something similar to what Dr. Seuss does in this book. This book can also be used to introduce the ideas of environmental awareness and the idea that actions have consequences, and sometimes more consequences than we actually think. You can also discuss consequences not in the sense of it totally being a negative thing, but the idea of positive and negative consequences. What were some positive consequences of the Once-ler chopping down trees, and what were some negative consequences of the Once-ler chopping down trees? Overall, were there more positive or negative outcomes? Or did the positive or negative outcomes have more impact? It really is a fantastic book and one of my favorites from Dr. Seuss, and one that I would highly recommend reading. For the poster for this week, we have a little image of the Lorax right there with his iconic mustache. Let me know what you think of the Lorax down in the comments below. And if you have any other suggestions for books that I should read or other book-related content that you would be interested in. If you are not already, feel free to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Facebook or Instagram for updates about what I'm reading. And as always, I hope that you have a marvelous week and a wonderful read.